Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to Tony the Technician's channel, and today we're going to be going into my 3rd gen Camaro and installing an LED flasher, which is necessary when upgrading your blinkers to LED bulbs. So many years ago I upgraded all of my lighting to LEDs except for my blinkers, and that's because I didn't have an LED flasher and for some reason never installed one. So if you just want to run LEDs everywhere except for the blinkers, go right ahead. But if you just want to do them all, this is a very simple and affordable upgrade that you can do in order to run LEDs across the vehicle. So when you try to run LED lights for blinkers in these 3rd gen Camaros with an original flasher module, you most commonly will come across solid state or solid lock light. Basically you go turn on the blinker and your light just lights up and stays lit up and it doesn't blink. In that case, you need to upgrade to an LED flasher because LEDs run with a lot less wattage. It doesn't actually have enough load to make that stock flasher work or operate, so switching to a no load solid state or LED flasher runs on a lot less wattage and will allow your LEDs to operate correctly. So it's a very simple install. I'll show you exactly where the flashers are, how to install them, the ones I went with, the flashers I went with, and you may be doing this upgrade in order, LEDs are great, a more modern look. You get deeper, richer colors, brighter colors. You may be doing it just for a more modern look as far as lighting, or maybe you tinted your blinker housings or your tail lights. In my case, I tinted my tail lights. I had them professionally painted, and I want to make sure those around me know when I'm stopping, turning, backing up. So with a darker tail light housing, I want brighter, deeper, richer colors, so those around me know not only does the car look better with LED lighting, but it's just as efficient or more efficient than those original bulbs. So let's go ahead and get into the LED flasher modules that I decided to go with, some other options, and how to install them. Let's get into this. If you guys enjoyed, please make sure to hit that thumbs up, leave a comment down below of your guys' thoughts, and as always, subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Here are the LED flashers that I decided to go with. If you're going to do front and rear blinkers on your 3rd gen Camaro or Firebird, Trans Am, whatever, you are going to want to replace both of the flashers in your vehicle. You have one for your blinkers and one for your 4-way flashers. If you do both front and rear, you will need both flashers to be replaced. So many are available today for 3rd gens and many other vehicles, but the 3rd gen does use a 2-prong equivalent of a 552 flasher, and you can find them priced between anywhere between $8 and $30. These are on the higher end, the higher quality, with the reverse polarity adapting plate in there. I'll get into that in just a little bit. I want to say mine were around the $20 to $24 price range. Otherwise you can get this without the reverse polarity base for a couple dollars cheaper. Some brands work, and this is something you need to look up before purchasing whatever LED flasher you're going with. You need to decide if you're going to switch all to LEDs or just certain ones to LEDs, because there are some LED flashers that work with both LEDs and incandescents, and then some of them only work with LEDs, and if they have a incandescent on the system, then it will blow the flasher. So you do need to keep that in mind. These are good for both LED and incandescent bulbs. I will just be running the LED bulbs though. With LED bulbs, you don't create the necessary load to set off the flasher. With a stock flasher, normally it's somewhere around 15 watts that you need to make a stock flasher work. And when you run LEDs, they run on a lot less wattage. They use a lot less power, so a lot of the times they just don't create enough load to allow that flasher, that stock flasher, to work. And that's why you either go with a no load flasher. So when using LEDs, you either don't have the load requirement, or it may not detect the LEDs, and it may think the bulb is actually out. Depending on the flasher style that you have, it may think that it being an LED and using a lot less power, it might not even register that there's a bulb there, and it may think that the bulb is just out. So that's where you'll get the hyper flashing with the LEDs, because normally your turn signal inside the vehicle will flash at you, allowing you to know that the bulb is out, but in actuality the bulb is still working, and it is also hyper flashing outside of the vehicle. So that is something that you need to be aware of, and another reason that you would want to switch to the LED flashers. So some of them will have this ground wire, some will not. And then, like I said, this is the 2-prong for the 3rd gen, and then really most 95% of people will not have to buy this one. You can save a couple dollars and not get the one with the reverse polarity plate. This is for if your car has ever been rewired, the fuse panel's redone, if it's got custom wiring in it, if it's not original. Sometimes the wires get installed backwards, and a lot of people don't know that, and then this won't work. So basically then you can adapt this, making the side one then the bottom, and the bottom the side. It basically just switches the locations of the pins. That's really nice. Even though I'm almost 95% sure I will not need this, I went ahead and spent a couple extra dollars to get it just in case, so if I do need it, I don't have to wait a few days to figure out if that's the issue or not. And then this wire, if you do get one with this is just a simple ground wire, and you'll just find a location under the dash to ground that. And then it will come with 2 extension wires just in case this doesn't fit your stock location. If it's larger than your stock flasher and it doesn't fit, this allows you to plug right into that and kind of move this wherever you need, obviously in a small location. And these are just a couple of the LEDs that I switched to. This I was running for my reverse light. This was running in the parking brake light area, and these are some of my cheaper ones, and we'll be going over why we switched to better ones in the next video, so stay tuned for that. And then it will come with a little wiring diagram if you're doing everything yourself and not using an existing setup. This is for a 3-terminal. That's not what we have. We have the 2-terminal. So if the flasher does not work, attach the polarity reversing adapter, and then the extension wires are used if the flasher does not fit in the fuse block. Use wire ties to secure the flasher in a convenient location. That's all that's included, and this is the part number. I got mine from CAMARO Central. You can get them from Summit, Screamin' Chicken, Hawks Motorsports, basically any auto parts store. I got it from a CAMARO specific website just because I wanted to make sure that other people have used this same product on 3rd gen Camaros to make sure that it was working. So this is the turn signal and 4-way hazard 2-prong LED flasher, upgrading to LED lighting with the polarity reversing adapter. And here are some of the part numbers, and now I'll go ahead and show you inside the vehicle how to remove the old ones where they're at and how to get the new ones installed. You're going to have a cover here that you're going to need to remove if you have it. I've already removed mine a while back. I'm doing some wiring under here, cleaning this up. So you're going to have your fuse block over here. Well, if you go all the way over to the center console side, you're going to see your OBD port. Well, right behind that is where you're going to need to access. Right here behind this wiring, you're going to see a tab here and one right here on the other side. Just kind of pinch those together, and this little box is going to drop down. This round one in the back is one of the flashers you're going to be replacing. The other one is going to be located up inside. Mine is right here, and it's just going to be connected to an extension wire. There you can see it right there. So now I've got them both grounded. I have one grounded here and one grounded here. The wire wasn't quite long enough if I grounded them up there. So once you have that, pull this guy down. You can see my flasher sitting in there, but that guy is still up there. You can simply reach up, pull that guy out. You're gonna have a tab that goes across the bottom, flat across the bottom, and then the other tab is on the right hand side. Kind of see that up there, bottom side. So So you're going to take your flasher and install it the same way. One on the bottom, one on the right hand side. So there's that one. And then the other one, you remember, just kind of dangling from this harness. Right here you see the red connector. Pull that guy out. Same thing. This is just one that I had to replace about 5-6 years ago. And now we're gonna plug this one into that red connector right there. Okay, so now we have the LED flasher on this actual box panel, and then the one connected up top to the red connector. Yours may or may not be that reddish pink color. And now you can kind of simply just push that up. Yours may be in a holder. Mine was just kind of floating here. And then you can go ahead and close it, just making sure not to pinch your ground wires. Make sure when you run those, if you have them, not to have them pinched anywhere. Mine is free floating right here, and the other runs up above the box up here. So that's all done. Now keep in mind that once you've installed these and you install your LEDs, if you have slow flashing or no flashing, you may need to reverse the polarity with those adapter plates. That's why I went ahead and got them, just in case I run into that issue. But 90% of the time you're not going to have that issue unless your car has been completely rewired. Maybe the panels and fuse boxes and everything are different. Maybe they're all custom wired and stuff like that. That's really the only time you're going to run into that issue, but just in case, I got them. So that is it as far as the LED flasher install, and please stay tuned for the next video where I go over the LEDs that I'll be installing, and we'll install them in the taillights and see how they look. If you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit that thumbs up, leave a comment down below of your guys' thoughts, or if you've installed these. And as always, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. See you guys next time.